Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, let me begin this by stating outright that if you are looking for an honest, unbiased review, you have come to the wrong place. See, Wolverine was my first ever proper comic book hero character. He was the first character whose comic book run I picked up all the way over here in Norway many years ago. Too many, frankly. And so I adore Wolverine, and Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. God damn, but he's still got it. Oh hell, he's still got it. They make the joke in the movie that Disney's gonna use him for another 90 years of Wolverine movies, and he could actually probably pull it off. That's the worst part. Now, whether or not that would be a wise investment from Disney, well, that's a different topic, potentially, but there you go. There's my biases on the subject, and I will fanboy out about a couple of the other cameos as well, so if you're also averse to spoilers, yet again, you're going to have to go somewhere else. So, presuming you're still with me, Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, let me lead with the negative part here, okay, right away. So, this is, in some ways, I would say the weaker of the three, and it is almost entirely down to pacing, or the complete and utter lack of anything that even resembles pacing. This movie could... You could buff off 30 minutes and you'd be fine. You could polish off 40 minutes and you'd be fine. You could leave 50 minutes on the cutting room floor and you'd still be fine. Hell, you could slice off 60 minutes with a meat cleaver and you'd probably still come out with a superior product. Oh boy, Ryan Reynolds is a fantastic Deadpool. He is a fantastic comedic actor and there's no doubt about it, but his writing style is long-winded. Oh my god. This movie is in many ways the definition of a joke going on too far. But here's the thing, it's not a joke, at least. It doesn't have the problem of like, oh, this would be a funny joke if it was just this joke for 20 minutes. There are many jokes in the movie, and a lot of them are actually really good as well. I had several good, proper belly laugh moments, and that's rare for me. I tend to have a very specific and weird sense of humor. So getting me to laugh tends to be a good indicator that it is at least good comedy, if nothing else. As for the overall storyline, it's multiverse shit. I'm sorry. It's just that kind of sums up everything you need to know, doesn't it? It's a multiverse storyline, and the movie makes fun of this on multiple occasions as well because the multiverse just doesn't really work. And the movie benefits highly of trying to focus in on as much on Deadpool and Wolverine as it can, but the overall story is just kind of terrible. It does lead to an excellent finale moment, but this ain't Shakespeare, to put it rather mildly. It does have some good use of music, though. A lot of it's very cheesy, but some of it's actually very fitting. And again, the final scene is cheap, cheesy, and classic in the same time. Excellent stuff, honestly. And of course, Hugh Jackman does take his shirt off, which it also makes many jokes about. It also does have a fair few cameos, which, okay. Alright, it throws Elektra in there. Now, if you don't remember Elektra, I'm sorry for you. She had her own movie, would you believe it? It throws in Gambit, it throws in Johnny Storm, although it does kill him off rather quickly, and sadly. A bunch of other little side characters, well, Juggernaut, Psylocke, I think was in there, but the two big ones is one, Cavalrine, Henry Cavill as Wolverine, and he's only in there for like 5 seconds, and you know what? It does work. But it's not as good as Hugh Jackman. It's not quite as good. But if this whole 40k thing falls through, and judging by current things, now it's not an unlikely scenario, then yes, Wolverine is a potential role for the future, and Wesley Snipes as Blade. Oh yes. Now, I will have... It hurts me to say this. It really does, but he is too old. I know. God damn it, I wish it wasn't so. I wish I could see this and be like, fire the other guy they're making a Blade movie with this instant. Throw him out the door, kick him out if you have to, and get Wesley Snipes back in, but he is too old. Even then, there's a line in the movie, there's only ever been one Blade and there only ever will be one Blade, and god damn, yes, that is true. No one can ever beat Wesley Snipes in the role of Blade. It just can't happen. The way he carries himself, his ability to be effortlessly cool, as I've said on multiple occasions now, even now that he just doesn't look the part anymore, is unmatched. You cannot replace Wesley Snipes. It can't happen. There's no chance in hell you replace Wesley Snipes. But so, to the core of it, Deadpool and Wolverine. So this is, in very large parts, and which is why I like it, despite its many flaws, it is a love letter to Wolverine. That is it. It makes that very clear from the very beginning. This is a adoring fans' love letter to Wolverine. And here's the thing, that is actually perfect, because in essence, who's writing this? Well, it's Deadpool, de facto. That's kind of part of the joke. This is Deadpool creating his own story, and how he's been longing for this team up forever. And it is an excellent portrayal of Wolverine. It is an excellent portrayal of Deadpool, as always, by Ryan Reynolds. And goddamn, the suit. Oh, the suit works. God, the suit works. I am so annoyed now that we didn't get this suit earlier, because I remember back when X-Men came out in what? God help me, the 2000s? Jesus Christ, I'm old. Anywho, the excuse of we can't put them in those silly yellow suits, they look like clowns. Oh yeah, and the black leather suits that made them look far classier. No. The suits would have worked. Wolverine in that yellow suit, absolutely. The hood's a bit much. He only puts on the hood near the end of it, kind of like a fangasm moment, and it works for a short time, but yeah, the hood does not work. The hood does not work. No. So that's tragic, but the two characters have many excellent fight scenes. There's lots of good action, lots of good fighting, lots of good acting. Again, Hugh Jackman is just perfect for this role, no doubt about it. And the storyline, again, it's there to provide a plot. I wish it didn't have to be. I wish it wasn't necessary for the storyline to exist, frankly. I kind of wish we could have maybe just had Wolverine and Deadpool goes on a silly dumb adventure to do virtually anything else, but it exists. It's a framing device. It allows the heroes to do their hero stuff. And that's kind of all you really need to take away from it. Again, you could slice an hour off this movie and it would be better for it, which is not an endorsement by any stretch of the imagination. But, see, here's the thing. I am struggling with whether or not I should call this a good movie, because I'm not sure I wish to commit myself to that position. It's a difficult position to defend, I do believe, particularly in form of, movie science and cinematic nonsense. I think it would be difficult ground, hard to hold, but as somebody who adores Wolverine, as somebody who quite likes Deadpool as well, this is absolutely worth the watch. And if you like the kind of humor that you saw in Deadpool 1 and 2, it is going to get you plenty of laughs as well. And it was weirdly fun to see many of these utter B-list characters back on screen for the few moments there were. Like, there is an excellent fake out, which I will not ruin, which is really quite good, really quite excellent there. As you also go like, oh, that's right, I'd forgotten about that. It's quite good. But again, too long, far too long. The definition of a joke that has gone on far too long. It might feel painful at times. It will physically hurt you here and there, absolutely. It will touch you in place that you feel that you're very uncomfortable with, and it will do so on multiple occasions. Particularly the the introduction, the opening introduction to the story overall, that was one very long molestation session that really did not need to happen at all, particularly considering the unfathomable threadbareness of the actual plot. It's kind of like your plot is the thinnest layer of butter scraped across too much bread, of course. And for some reason, the show decides to just hone in on that for a solid half hour or so. No, we didn't need that. Deadpool is having relationships problems again. Don't know why. It's just a thing now, apparently. I'm wondering if that's part of the joke. God only knows at this point. And I kind of enjoy the fact that they've somewhat also kind of said that maybe they're killing the whole multiverse thing with this, but it's coming out of Ryan Reynolds' mouth, so I'm not sure how serious I'm going to take that, but God, let it be true. The multiverse. The multiverse sounds good in theory. It always does. We could have all of these crazy, crossovers and what-if stories, and we could do all of this insane stuff, and we could kill characters without actually impacting our bottom line, and we can do all kinds of insane stuff. Yes, you could, but this also actually devalues the entire thing. This kind of harkens back to the video I did yesterday on it, how we need Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne more than we need Batman and Superman, because we need the human. We actually need to get something grounded again. We need to go back to basics and create a ground floor for this insanity, so that every movie doesn't have to be an end-of-the-universe scenario. And well, this isn't even the end of the universe scenario, this is the end of a time itself scenario. See, that's the problem. When everything is the end of the world, you have to keep ramping it up every single effing time, and it starts getting really, really dumb, frankly. Also, I kinda wish they'd gone all in on Logarines? On Wolverine's backstory here, okay? They should have gone Old Man Logan on this. Now, maybe there's some copyright concerns there, which meant they didn't, but he has a tragic backstory, and it's a really weak tragic backstory. It's a pathetic tragic backstory, frankly, and especially when you compare it to Old Man Logan, which, if you haven't read Old Man Logan, do. Good stuff. And if they'd done that, oh boy, that would have been a blowaway moment. That might actually have justified keeping a 30 minutes of runtime to put that in there. Oh, that would have been sweet. But anywho, in summary, if you like the previous Deadpools, you're probably going to enjoy this one, even if you're gonna be sitting there for several minutes at a time thinking, I need a bathroom break, or I could have done something else, or learned Mandarin, or whatever. That's going to happen to you. And if you're a fan of Wolverine, like I am, and Hugh Jackman in general, oh god, this is everything you ever wanted. This is everything you ever needed. It really is. You know that sense of disappointment you had watching Les Miserables? Yeah, that. Invert that straight up, and you'll have all of the satisfaction you will get from watching Hugh Jackman as Wolverine again in this. And you know what? If we're talking of bringing things back to the basic style stuff, Wolverine could actually be a pretty decent character to do that with. We're already engaging in multiverse nonsense after all, so who's to say that we couldn't somehow pop Wolverine back in time again, try and remake something of the X-Men, though honestly, I feel like the X-Men are mostly dragging Wolverine down, rather than really elevating him, and an origin story really is not what we need right now. But there are other directions you could take Wolverine. There's a lovely adventure he had in Japan, for example, which I think would make for rather good cinema, but they absolutely could do more with this. Now, the question is if they are going to, because this is a movie that Marvel has a lot riding on, particularly considering all of the multitude of failures leading up to this, which the movie takes a shit on again and again as well. So if this movie isn't the movie of the decade, Marvel might decide to just quietly, choke out the entire thing. And there are worse things that could happen at this point. There really is. Again, like I've said with X-Men 97, if that is the sacrificial lamb I must offer up to eventually get something good in the future, I could see myself putting Ryan Reynolds up there alongside X-Men 97 on the altar of things. I could. I absolutely could. Particularly as they definitely did give him a little bit too much creative liberty with this one. But it is good so long as the preceding qualifiers are met, that you like Wolverine and that you like Deadpool. If you don't like Wolverine and you don't like Deadpool, it would be very difficult to recommend. As the story itself, again, do your best to ignore that part. Yeah, that's probably the wisest choice. Anywho, I have been Arch. Thank you all very much for listening, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.